to the DMV and the rest of the world. This is your girl, Reese, aka the best that ever did it. And it's a wonderful and beautiful morning. Today is Tuesday, going up on a Tuesday. Yes, we're going up this Tuesday. Um, Today I am here, aka Reese Cup, aka AM Morning, aka the best that ever did it. But I'm rolling semi solo today. I'll be taking and handling the show today by myself because my co anchor, Miss Bernice Smith, is feeling a little under the weather today. But my boy Molly Mall is here with me in the house. He is in the back behind the scenes. He's making it do what it do. He might be popping in every now and then, but for the most part, it's just you and me. And I'm glad it's just you and me. So I can take this time and share this intimate moment with you all. Subject for today is disciplining your children. Are we crossing the line? Do we cross that line? How do you know that discipline has gone too far? When does discipline become abuse? Now we all know that there's all types of abuse, that you can abuse people mentally, physically, psychologically, and all of that. I got some clips. I got some stories that we want to share. We want to talk about today because it's a very serious thing, and this is right on the heels of Halloween when the kids go out and cut up and all that and throw pranks and stuff. We got to be really diligent on how we handle our kids nowadays because the government got their hand in it and how we discipline our children. It's not like it was in the past. Although the government and some agencies need to step in because some people don't know how to discipline children. They don't know what that word mean and punishment. They don't know when to uh, put people in that type of punish or disciplinary action. Me personally, myself, when we misbehave or got too out of pocket, I got spankings. I got whipped with a switch. My grandparents believed in uh, spare the rod, spoil the child, and they did not spare the rod. Although I didn't get a lot of beatings from my grandparents, they beat you on your butt. My grandfather never believed in smacking nobody in the face, especially a child. He said that he thought that was so humiliating and to put somebody through that. So I'm thinking maybe he was traumatized. Maybe he got smacked by one of his parents, coming up, and he remembered just how, that feel and that degrading. And I agree. I never smacked my son in his face. If I had to discipline him or whoop him, I whooped his ass. I whooped his bottom part. You know how we do the one dance where you hold the arm and you beating the kid's butt? We did that. I didn't hit my child any old kind of way. Now my mom, on the other hand, when she disciplined you, when she got mad, she hit you with anything, shoes, cans, or whatever. That's not discipline. That's extracting rage. You're upset and you're gonna lash out and hit your child with any and everything. That's not good. That's not good at all. Because you're not disciplining them, you're whooping them out of anger. And I don't believe that when you're disciplining a child or spanking a child, that you should be angry when you do it because you can hurt a child. You can hurt somebody. And sometimes these children nowadays are a lot different than the way I was raised and the way my son was raised, came up. My son's 29, by the way. So he's in that generation. If my mom is the baby boomers and I'm generation X, I think my son is generation Y, something like that. I don't know how they do the generations. They're always changing it and adding something different. But when I came up, and then when I hear stories about how my mom said that they got whooped with a leather strap, a razor leather strap if they was bad. It was a belt, but she said that her father's father used to sharpen his razor on it back in the day, and they got out of hand that they would use that leather razor strap. She said they used to throw it out the window, but somehow that leather razor strap made its way back into the house. And the kids know when that leather razor strap came, my grandmother wasn't playing with them. So they tried to do stuff not to get whoopers, not to get spankings. My grandfather, on the other hand, he had a belt. He'll snatch his belt off like Pootie saying, whoop, whoop, just like Pootie saying. And he, do that thing with the discipline. Let me see. Good morning. Oh, hold up. Oh, I done hit a button and I can't see. It says, Patricia, good morning. She said, don't be telling our family secrets. Good morning, Mama. Patricia Prince. That's my mother. That's my other mother, I should say. I love you. And well, let's get to the first video and y'all see what I mean. And then y'all tell me, what you saying. What you
think. Adults talk to you, you listen to what they're saying, yeah? Why are you swinging the bat at Rocco like that?
It's a slap at the center of a new NBC show, sparking a heated discussion on how to discipline a child. By law, spanking the behind of a child with your hand is viewed as discipline, but anything more is unlawful in Delaware.
If it crosses the line where any instrument is used, any hard object, belt, paddle, we will be making reports.
If a child ages 3 to 18 is disciplined with more than a spanking, that parent would face misdemeanor charges and up to 1 year in prison. If the child is under 3, that parent would then face felony charges and up to 2 years in prison. Some believe children today behave badly because they know they can get away with it.
They know that you're not supposed to hit them anymore. And a good wallop on the rear end is not going to hurt them.
Parents weren't the only people children feared when they misbehaved years ago.
When I grew up, you were afraid of the neighbors too. I mean, they didn't really hate you, but your parents were going to know what you did.
Clinical effective non-physical ways to punish your child.
If the goal is you want the child to change their behavior, then they need to respect you in a way and respond to you in a way that they want to be good for you because you have that relationship.
In Lewis, Chelsea Kerbler, WRDE Coast TV News.
Wow. Okay, that was the first clip. I got some other clips. We're gonna get into that later. Let's first dissect this. Like I said earlier, when you get a slap in the face as a child, that is so, for me, I remember it was so humiliating. Not only did I feel bad, like getting hit, my self-esteem just went out of you. It just felt so degrading to get a slap in your face like that. That's, to me, that's not a discipline. That's borderline abuse. Hell, and mentally, that is abuse. And my grandfather was a stickler for that. I remember one time he saw my mom slap me like that. He jumped up and was ready to whip her butt because he was like, she grown. He was like, you do not hit that child like that. If they're bad, you discipline them. And I love my granddaddy to the moon and back. My granddaddy was my hero, y'all. And everybody said, oh, he's a mean man, but he cared about children. My grandfather didn't play that disciplining or abuse type stuff on the child, but he did wear some butt out, so and it was the way he did it, and then I didn't want to be the one to hit on my child like that, and I found ways of punishing my son when he was coming up by putting him on physical punishment. It hurts a child more, the fact that they can't go outside and play with their friends, than it does a whooping. Because a whooping will last a couple of minutes, but you back outside playing with your friends. And what do we all say when we get a whooping in front of our friends? So it didn't hurt. We all said that. You be like, so it didn't hurt. You still jumping rope, playing hopscotch, or doing whatever. And that's our biggest thing. Come on, let's play. So it didn't hurt. They was like, you got a whooping. And they used to do this. Used to taunt you like that. and you sit up there. So that was the thing. So it didn't hurt with the whoopings, but nowadays these children are different. Nowadays they have a number that they call. They will report your butts in a minute because they themselves don't know the difference between disciplining and abuse. They themselves, the kids don't know. Oh, they know, they hurting. Or you spanking them too hard or whatever. But like I said, when my son was coming up, I would punish him by taking his outdoors, taking his activities away from him. Now, he didn't care about a cell phone coming up too much because he had one. But that was just a regular flip phone back in the day when cell phones first came out when he was coming up. We're talking about Tyree 29, so we're talking about 20 years ago. The phones wasn't like nowadays that you can play games and do everything on your phone. Your phone is a lifeline for everything, video games, everything. When he was coming up, he had a cell phone. It was to call me, only to call people. Didn't have all the fancy gadgets, right? The most he could do, I think, was change the color of the screen or something like that, or in and out his contacts, right? I remember he ran up my phone bill over $1,000. I was with AT&T, and he ran it up by changing his favorite top 10 contacts. They used to tell you could pick 10 people that you could call for free anytime, but what they don't tell you, you can't do it when you want it. It's 30 days. Like if you change it one time, you got to keep that same contact for 30 days. If not, they would charge you something like 99 cents every time you change something in your rotation. Well, needless to say, I didn't know it, and he didn't know it, obviously. And he ran my phone bill up over $1,000. I'm like, wait a minute. And I called them people. I said, you let a child do this and get in those 99-cent ringtones and all that? I said, a child did this. So they fixed the bill and everything. And I disciplined my son by taking the phone away from him because I said he was not responsible. And I took that which he loved away because he loved to get in all the different ringtones and buying all that stuff, the different, backgrounds for the phone and all that, not knowing that you was costing mommy money. Every time you changed a friend, got a new ringtone, and was like, yeah, I like this song. Man, how many of us ran up our phone bills with music on the daggone phone before we can get YouTube music or whatever, Pandora on the phone? We was listening to our ringtones like it was a radio. But needless to say, let me get back on point what I was saying. We took that phone away from that boy, or not we. I took it away from him because I'm a single parent, and it hurt him. And then I took the computer away from him. That stuff really hurt him because he would try to do everything to get back in my good graces. He would clean his room without me telling him. He would take the trash out without me telling him. He was really like, people who beat children don't know how to raise them. Yeah, that's what we beat. We beat livestock. We beat animals. But the way they beat children now, they didn't know how to raise them back then. They really didn't. Nobody is a perfect parent. I don't fault a nobody parent. Well, you got some parents that actually end up killing the children. Nobody is a perfect parent. There's no blueprint on how to raise them, especially nowadays. That's why you got to get them psychologically. You got to touch what they love. You got to get them where they can understand. Like my co-host, a good old Molly Moore, would say that he used to, if his daughter did something, he didn't have to discipline her because he would talk to her and be like, you disappointed daddy, you hurt daddy. And he was like, she would do everything. Oh, I didn't mean to hurt you, daddy. I don't want to hurt you, daddy. And that's a beautiful thing. Just like I didn't want to disappoint my grandparents. So I did everything that I could not to disappoint her, try not to get in trouble. Did I do stuff? Yeah, I did stuff. Did I get disciplined? Yeah, I got disciplined. Did I get punished? Yeah. My grandmother stopped beating me and punished me. You can't go out the house, only to go to work and school. Okay. I couldn't even go in the yard. But if I did something, I had my own phone in my room. They would come in, and I was paying the bill. They would come in there and unplug my phone for me, Even they didn't care. You pay the bill or not. You in their house, you breaking rules. This is what you're going to get dealt with. But they didn't have to go back to spanking me like when I was a little kid. I was a teenager. And they found other ways to come at me that was more effective, to get me to think about what I was doing. That's all it is. It's critical thinking skills. You want the child to think about what they did and to think about why the parent is upset and why the parent thinks this is disobeying, and why you even cross the line to even need to be getting dealt with. I got another clip I want to share with y'all. If Marley could cue it up for me, the next clip.
Peterson's case has brought the conversation of child abuse to the forefront. Where is the line between discipline and abuse? CBS 7's Tatum Gwynn explores that question. Tatum?
Mike, we spoke with child advocacy experts who say the key to discipline is to refrain from being reactive when a child misbehaves.
The photos are hard to ignore. Bloodied scratches all over the back and legs of Adrian Peterson's 4-year-old son.
No, that's too much over for me.
Yeah.
Though these images show an instance where discipline was taken too far, the majority of people we spoke to today agree there is nothing wrong with spanking.
With an open hand, that's fine. I do have a paddle for my grandbabies.
If it comes to it, if you need to do it, you got to do it,
Kids, they don't know respect at all. Like me, I love discipline.
But Denise Malm, executive director of Harmony Homes, says effective discipline doesn't always mean getting physical.
Positive, constructive parenting begins before a child gets into trouble or breaks a rule or does something you don't want them to do. All too frequently, it's been a reactive kind of situation where the parent got mad, parent got upset. How many times have I told you?
And in situations where you feel like you're going to be reactive.
Stop, take a breath, take a couple of breaths before you do something.
There are multiple resources available for parents looking for alternative forms of discipline and parenting techniques. You can find those on our website, CBS7.com. Live in the studio, I'm Tatum Gwynn, CBS 7 News.
All right, Tom, thanks. Recent child abuse allegations against Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson are reigniting a debate among parents. What's appropriate punishment?
Y'all see that? You hear that? It's what's appropriate punishment. That lets me know that some parents has lost their mind. Some parents do not appropriately discipline their child correctly. Like I said, nowadays children are smart and intelligent. We're not animals. They're not animals. You don't got to beat them like they're livestock or beat them like they're wild animals, beat them into submission like that. You can sit down and have a conversation with them and talk to them. And I use my friend Molly Moore example because here is a man talking to a female child. And he got such a good rapport with his child that he could sit down and talk to him and like, look, you know what you did, to understand why the child did what they did, and they need to know why it's bad. I had an uncle, and this is true. My Uncle Junior used to get whooped every day. Every day. They used to think something was wrong with him because he would just act out. And every day, my grandfather had to extract that pound of flesh. He was always doing something mischievous and crazy. I'm going to give you an example of crazy shit that this boy was doing. This boy needed help. This boy needed mental help. Somebody needed to sit down and talk to him and understand why he doing what he was doing. He would go in the cabinet. My grandmother would buy canned fruit. He would punch a hole in the can and drink the juice out the fruit and set it back in the cabinet. Okay? Stuff like that. Why not? My grandmother was like, why don't you just open the can and eat the fruit? Eat the whole thing. Why would you just drink the juice and set a can back in the cabinet? Now the people think they're getting fruit. They open up the fruit done rotted because he done got in there and punched the whole drug that stuff like that, wasting food. And you know, my grandmother went off. And another thing he did, he set fire to the curtains in the living room. They said he climbed the curtains like he was climbing a tree and took matches and set fire to the curtain, you know, doing stuff like that. They said my uncle was always doing something, and he grew up as an adult always doing something. My uncle was like a shit starter. They said that he was always running and doing stuff, and then he didn't have that fight in him. He just had the part to antagonize people, you know, sort of like a bully, but a bully that couldn't fight. You get everybody all amped up and antagonizing people and arguing back and forth. Then when the shit hit the fan, you run it. He got a spanking every day for doing something. I guess they figured that this boy crazy. And every day, you know, you getting a whooping. Why you keep doing the same thing every day? Some people like getting a whooping. Good morning, A-Star. Good morning. Good morning, Felicia. We're talking about, if you're just tuning in with us, we're talking about discipline and abuse. When is disciplining your child? When does that become abuse? And I know all of you guys out there with children know that when you spank a child, the right way to spank them and discipline them, because ain't nobody I know is in jail or got their children taken away from them for child abuse. So I'm assuming that you guys did a good job, or maybe nobody said nothing. But that football player, they say his 4-year-old son had marks on his back and his legs. How was you hitting this child? How was you whooping him? See, that's what my grandfather used to get on my mom about. You don't hit a child like you fighting a child. You don't discipline a child like that. My mother used to hit us all over. We like this and that. You don't take the belt and go all willy-nilly, all ham on the child. I haven't had whoops on the face, on the arms, the back. You know, that's not disciplining. That's beating. Let's be honest. That's a beating. That's not a whipping. That's not a spanking. Okay? It's the way you do it. And I don't believe you should do it when you're angry. I don't think you should, you know, my grandfather would be like, go in your room. And when he come for you, he come in there and he'll tell you that lie, this gonna hurt me more than it hurt you. And I was like, it is? What is he? Because he didn't want to do that, to want to discipline you. But if he felt that he needed to, you know. And I think all the parents tell that lie. This gonna hurt me more than it hurts you, because it's the child butt that be hurting, but it's your feelings that's hurting, that you even have to go there and discipline your child like that. That if they did something, if that infraction was so great that you had to go to the laying of hands part. But like I said, nowadays it's different with children, because nowadays you can punish them. You can take away their devices. You can take away their social media. They can't live without their social media. That's worse than a weapon. I heard my cousin tell his mama, whip me so I can go outside. Please whip me and get it over with. Please, can I come out the room now, mama? Please, whip me. Begging for a whipping, because he couldn't stand that punishment. He's crying, standing at the door crying, so the whole house can hear him cry. Standing at the door, and then so you can feel sorry for him. He even goes as far as, you know how you cry, you put your hand in your mouth, how kids be there sucking on their fingers, whatever. He even go as far as choking from crying. And she said, if your ass throw up, you gonna clean it up. So it was like he knew not to fake it, throw up. Some kids do all that crying when he's faking it, throw it up. I've seen it. We lived through it. You know, and just go in your room, stay in your room, shut the door, and they get mad and be stomping away, slamming the door. Oh, bitch. I hate her. And then yelling and cutting up like that. And then when your grandmama or your mama get up, come in there with the belt. What the hell wrong with you? Sit your ass down. You know, then you know you had to sit down and cry. And my grandfather's favorite line was, you want something to cry for? I'm like, I thought I already got something to cry for. You whooped me. They was like, shut that fuss up. They whoop you and then they make you shut it up. Now go in there and think about what you did. No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to think about what you did. You whooped me. You told Harpo to beat me. That's what you did. You whooped me. And then it was funny because back when I was growing up, not only did your parents discipline you, but your teachers and your neighbors disciplined you as well. We had a teacher when I was in the second grade named Mrs. Trotter. She would tear your hands up with that ruler or that yardstick. You'd be up there, she'd tear you, pat, pat, pat. You'd be like, ah. You know, like, I hate her. She make me sick. I hate that teacher. And then they would tell your parents, and then you get home, you get a whooping again. And then if the neighbors catch you doing something, they had the right to discipline you as well. But it's changed. It's not like that anymore. And it's because people don't know how to discipline children anymore. They started hurting them. People became sick. What a lot of people are sick and want to hurt little children instead of them protecting little children. So that's why you can't trust your child around people of the world today, because you just don't know. They're so wicked. It's so much disconnect there with the people. It's like, how can you be so inhumane and treat children or do children any type of way? But they do. So I don't really know what happened with that. At the end of that story with the football player, did he get his child taken from him or what? I mean, I'm assuming it wasn't the football player that was actually doing a whooping. It probably was the mama that's doing a whooping, but the daddy is going along with it. If you're going along with barbaric disciplinary actions that the mama is doing to the child and you the daddy and you're not stepping in, then that means you're part of the problem. Then you're aiding and abetting, because if that lady beat that child and for something God for no foreseen reason, you kill that child, guess who going to jail? Both the mama and the daddy. The daddy going to jail because he stood by and let it happen. Aiding and abetting. That's what it is. Aiding and abetting. When you see a crime executed and you do nothing and you're there, you're going to jail too, daddy. So it will behoove you, if you see that mama tearing that child ass up, step in and say, hey, wait a minute. Wait, hold up, bitch. Don't hit him no more. You know, not like that, but you know what? You know, daddies be jumping in. Hey, my grandfather would grab us up and my grandmother couldn't whoop us. My granddaddy would get the whoopers. Or grandma be trying to whoop you with the switch. Let her go, Wade. Let her go. No. Granddaddy would hold me up in his arms, and my grandmother would be whooping him. And he was like, "What you do?" And I had to sit there and I had to tell him what I did to make my grandmother mad to want to whip me. And that I felt so bad when I was telling him that. It makes the child, when you talk to a child, it makes them want to do right. You can have a conversation. Like, I go back to my main man, Molly Mall again. I think it's dope that he can have a conversation with his daughter and be like, you know what, you disappoint me. And for the most part, she gets it. She understands that. She's like, I don't want to hurt daddy. I don't want to disappoint daddy. But then when it's something real bad, when he be like, tear her ass up, he leave it to the mama to do. He be like, he said he leave it to the mama because he can't bring it to his heart to discipline his child when it comes to that. But like I said, for the most part, you could talk to kids nowadays. They're so smart. They're so in tune. You could talk to them and let them know, look, hey, you did such and such. I'm going to take this away. I told you not to go outside when I'm not home, for the latchkey kids. That's the biggest thing. Every latchkey kid does this. They either go outside because they want to play with their friends, or they let somebody in their house. Every latchkey kid does it. I don't care who you are. Every latchkey do it for a little while. Even if it's just for 10 minutes. I said don't open that door for nobody. What do? Somebody knock at the door, we look. If I saw a friend, hey, what's going on? Can I come in? Oh, just for a minute. My mama not home. They know your mama not home. They know this. They mama home told them go outside and play. But the people they want to play with is probably the latchkey kid that can't come outside. They know. They all know that. They do. Oh wow. Well, we got another video. I'm up here tripping and going on. We got I think we got one more video to show y'all of abuse. Is it crossing the line? Molly, we got the other video. Hold up. Make sure we got the video. You got the video. The video. Well, maybe we don't got another video. Kid, I thought we had another video. Oh, well, anyway, uh, about the crossing the line of abuse. It's a thin line, like they say, between love and hate. Um, let's see what the audience is saying. Let me see. Can't get no read these comments. Let's see. Ace Dog said, "Ass whoopings are generation." Wait a minute, hold up. Let me. Okay, I can't see that way, but let me see if I can see it this way. My commentary, my co-host is not feeling well today, and y'all send some prayers up for Miss Bernice Smith, who's taken ill. I hope she's going to be okay. I know she's going to be okay. I hope everything is all right with her. Okay, here we go. Felicia Gaskin. Hey, Felicia, she's watching. Okay, Ace Dog said ass whoopings are uh, generational. Yes, they are, but not anymore. Yeah, we got tore up in the back. Yeah, we did. But hook up kids today, Lord. But look at the kids today. He's right. That's my whole point. And Malik Bay said, "Why would you want to hurt a child in any kind of way? That's not discipline." Yeah, well, it's to subdue them, to make them bend to your will, just like how the slaves, the enslaved Africans, they got whipped to make them do their will, to make them listen to their master, so to speak. But a child nature is going to be mischievous. A child nature is curious. So you got to teach your child, as they grow, what to do, what not to do, and the whys and the dangers of it. Like I said, you can have a conversation with them, but then you got some kids are just badass kids and ain't gonna listen to you no matter how good of a parent you are. I've seen kids run over their parents. I've seen kids get smart mouth with their mother. And I'm looking at like, is you gonna smack this little heifer or you want me to smack her? I've seen that kind of stuff. Good morning, Katina. If you just tuning in, we're talking about discipline. Is discipline going over the line? When does discipline turn into child abuse? And I was telling and sharing with the audience how back in our day coming up, how we got our butt tore up, but it's not like how kids are nowadays. Not even like the children that my son that I raised, because he got disciplined and he got spanking and he got punishment with his stuff that he wanted taken from him. Nowadays, these kids are on something else, and it's because they have the government that's stepping in. And like I said, the government steps in. That's great because some people need, some children need help. Some children need to get protected from their crazy parents. But then the regular children that's spoiled and entitled, see, that's what the problem is. These kids, a lot of these kids think they're entitled because we give. So they think, oh, I'm entitled to a cell phone. I'm entitled to the internet. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to it. They don't understand that. And when do we ask? We change the diagram of how children are raised. Because I look at it now. When my grandmother was coming up, we never said what we wanted for dinner. It's like she said, dinner is ready. And dinner was what she said in front of your face. I'm guilty of that too, because I made it that with my son. My mother would give us a choice. Okay, what y'all want for dinner? You can have this or this. Just like they pick with the elections. My mother already decided what she gonna cook. She gonna cook one of these two, but she's telling us to pick which one of the two that we want. That's like the elections and stuff. We're brainwashed, we're programmed that way to do everything that way. And I noticed, well, my son, I even asked him, even now, that's messed up. Coming up, I asked him, what do you want for dinner? Not what am I going to cook for dinner or what we're having for dinner. I messed up by saying, what do you want? Making him feel that he's entitled, that he can have some type of say in how he's being raised and reared. I gave him too much of a leeway. And that's because I didn't have any leeway. I had to take what I got. So I said, I'm not going to do my child like that. I did a great injustice because parenting should be based on parenting, not trying to be your child's friend, not trying to be their buddy. So I made my mistakes and I see where I went wrong. And I would be a great child psychologist now because I can tell the parent what to do and what not to do. Children should have say over something. Yeah, they have say what their clothes they want to wear today. But if they're not buying stuff, if they're not buying food to put in their body or whatever, they should be able to eat what's in what my parents prepared. But what I'm saying is that I gave my son all the choice for him to make all the decision to say, what do you want? What do you want me to buy? You. But you was not out there working, getting a job and making the money. So I should have been a parent and put more structure around him and say, these are the confines that we're in. This is where you play and move and live inside these confines, these guards. But I gave my son free range. Oh no, you could do this, you could do that. And because I knew how it was when I was coming up. And I see the mistakes that I made. The way my grandparents raised me, because my grandparents raised me, I ended up living with my grandparents. The way that they raised me was not bad at all. It gave me self-respect about myself. They gave me critical thinking skills because I had to think about a lot of shit coming up. And these kids, they're like, they the memory span, they don't last. These children of the day now, you take a normal 12-year-old, 13-year-old, it's like, go in there and get me X, Y, Z. Go into the store. They don't have critical thinking skills, and that's bad. Hell, a lot of adults don't have critical thinking skills. And we have to talk to the kids, have a conversation with these children, so we won't end up beating them. And again, I don't believe you should discipline a child when you're angry, because you could hurt a child, because you could have such a frustrating day. You come home from work, not even realizing that you're that angry. And then your child do something or something happens, and first thing you want to raise your hand to strike at that child. No, I believe you should be calm when you discipline them, because when you calm and you don't have that emotion there, you won't hurt them. You won't hurt. You have control over it. But when you striking something out of rage, you could do anything. I've been whooped out of rage. I ain't just sitting here talking or experience. I experienced from both parts. So, no, You should be calm and you should be explaining to a child why they're getting disciplined that way, because what did they do wrong? I used to ask them, what did I do wrong? It's like me being alive. Is that what I did wrong? My existence? Was that because I didn't get back talk because we was afraid to get smacked in the mouth. No back talk. Don't give me no double talk because you get a whipping for that. So you got to ask the child. I got a whooping before for going to sleep. Because I was supposed to be watching my sisters, and I got a whooping for falling asleep. And I'm a female, and that was that time of the month for me. I got woke up with a fucking belt on my ass. And I'm like, why am I getting a whooping? What did I do? You fell asleep. I don't feel good. That was wrong. That shit was abuse. You already sick and your ass getting all whooped up from the cramps, and then you get discipline like that. That's abuse. And people don't know when to use the rod or when to get physical with their children. Okay, children need to learn how to what's that? What you saying? Negotiate and compose early. Yeah, they do. Children, yes, they do. If it don't have nothing, Monty said, if it don't have nothing to do with the video games or social media, their asses are lost. Gerline said, hey sis, love always. Thank you, Nene. I love you guys too. you're right. I'm trying to read the social media, the comments and everything. If you're right, if they don't have nothing to do with video games nowadays, they're lost. That's why you don't have to beat them nowadays. You take away those video games, you take away social media. Oh, that's enough punishment right there. Back when we was coming up, we would get punished and couldn't talk on the phone. Katina, do you remember that? Me, you, and Yvette, after school, we'd be all talking on the phone and stuff. But if we get punished, they took the phone from us because they know that's what we love. It's getting on the phone, talking that chit chat. Girls was notorious for being punished off the phone. That was worse than getting the whooping. I'd rather get the whooping so I can get back on the phone and talk. Just like kids, you'd rather get the whooping so they can get back outside and play. But see, that's psychological, taking something that we really want or we really enjoy away from us, giving us what they call a timeout. You got too much foolishness on your mind. Let me take this phone away. No, the phone not foolishness. No, mama, no. I'm going to talk to my boyfriend. I don't know. You punished for a week. You can't use the phone. I hated that, man. And then when your parents wasn't home, you try to sneak and get on the phone. Man, when I used to try to sneak and get on the phone, my mother boyfriend would pay my sisters to dime me out. Ain't that some bullshit? That's some old bullshiggity right there. Mama ain't home. Yeah, but you on the phone. We had a two-way, so if the phone beat, it's like this. She knew when you was on the two-way by the way the phone picked up. So if I was on the other line, she knew I was clicking over. So what you do when you got the two-way and the phone ring, you had to hang up completely and let the phone ring. It did pick up the phone like, hello. That's how you did that. But I couldn't do that or be slick because my sister was writing down the time I got on the phone. She was like, it is 3:53. Reese is on the phone. She wrote down the time I got on the phone and got off. I'm like, ain't this a, my sister diming me out. Man, that was really something. I remember one day, my sister next to me, I caught her diming me out. I said, I know you ain't writing that down. She said, you don't got no business being on the phone. And me and her got in an argument, and my baby sister was like, no, Reese, no, don't hit her. Because my sister was running her trap. I turned around and bopped her, and she fell on the ground like she was knocked out. And then my sister Wanda was like, you killed her. You killed Nikki. You killed her. I said, I didn't kill Nikki. Her ass trying to do a coat cheese. Get up, Nikki. I didn't kill you. So my youngest sister got on the phone, called my mother, and said, Reese killed Nikki. My mother said, tell Nikki to get her ass up, get on this phone now. Nikki, the dead has arisen. They did a Lazarus effect. She got her ass up, got on the phone. Reese hit me. I'm like, damn, I'm going to get fucked up anyway. So my mother said, when I get home, I'm going to fuck you up. She totally did. When I get home, you want to get home. But she talking through her teeth and low on the phone. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to get a whooping anyway. I said, okay. I took the whooping. But guess what I did? As soon as I hung up the phone with my mother, I called all my friends. I thought you was punished, girl. I'm going to get a whooping when she get home. But shit, fuck it. I'm going to talk today. Because I'm already getting a whooping. So I'm going to make the most out of it. I'm going to tell everybody, yeah, I'm talking right now. I'm going to be punished after this, but I'm talking right now. I'm talking today. And so my little boyfriend, Scotty, I love you. I miss you. I ain't going to be able to talk to you for a week. Because I'm getting ready to get on punishment. But I did, we took that back then. That was some good old times back in the day. And that was just the telephone, the house phone, and that. When everybody had a house phone. These kids nowadays coming up, they don't know there's a house phone. What is that? You mean the thing at grandma's house? Or you mean the thing at great grandma's house? Kids nowadays don't even know about the house phone. They got the cell phone, and they got it. They can play games. They can do everything, social media, everything on that cell phone. That cell phone is their lifeline. You take that cell phone away from a child, all of their critical thinking goes out the door. They just like, what I'm gonna do? They like a deer caught in the headlights. They would sit in their room, bored, don't know what to do. The kids just okay. What the people saying? Remember when your punishment was you can't go outside and gotta go to your room? Yup. How y'all don't? You guys don't? Yup. You can't play outside. That was your punishment. You couldn't go outside and hang out with your friends. They took something that you enjoyed that was good for you. And what Katina say? She said, my dad always explained to me why he was giving us a whooping. It's the lecture would take an hour, right? And you knew at the end of that, I remember, Katina, you said that your brother would fall asleep sometime, but he got that whooping at the end of that lecture. At the end of that lecture, you know you was getting it. My mom, on the other hand, she didn't explain nothing to us. It was like, you better not ask her why you whooping her or whatever, and why we got to do this, because I said so. And she, I think she kind of missed the memo. I guess it was a couple about her being a young mom. Like I said, moms don't know everything. And we try. We don't know the blueprint. We try to raise our child the best that we can, the best that we know how. So, forgive. I feel like I got hair or something on my lips. From this hair. Don't be thinking nothing dirty or naughty. Okay? It's like long hairs. So don't be thinking nothing. But children, we got to explain to our children, have that conversation is very, very important. So they understand what is required, what do we expect from our kids, and what is required. Some people don't expect nothing from their children. Some people don't require nothing, like doing your chores or taking out the trash, going up. My son, and don't talk about allowance. We didn't get allowance. My mom didn't never pay us for doing housework. She said you're supposed to do it. Well, other people got allowance. They got paid for doing housework. We didn't. We just like, could we have some money? No, I ain't got it. Or can we have some money? Okay, if she had it, then we could have some. But we didn't get a regular stipend, so to speak. We didn't get no regular allowance, And then once we get off of punishment, it's like, I could breathe. So you making sure you don't want to do what you did to get off the phone for a week. 2 weeks was a killer. And if you had to be punished when they say indefinitely, you ain't got no more social life. I'm in junior high school. You punished indefinitely. I ain't got no more boyfriend. I ain't got no more friends. I ain't got no more nothing, because the communication is off. And it actually, that helped me a lot, because that helped me tell the best stories and go into my writing, go into my critical thinking. I would sit in the closet with a flashlight and write stories and write. And that was awesome to me, because in my stories, I wasn't punished. In your stories, you could be doing anything and everything, and that was great. I found the way to escape until my sisters died me out. Mom, she in the closet again writing. Get your ass out that closet if I whoop you. Whoop me for what? What I do? I'm sitting in the closet. See, that was abuse. That was abuse, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you know it was abuse. You be like, that didn't make no sense. You already punished me. You already took my outside away, and you took my phone away. So I'm just in the closet writing, because I wanted quiet time to get away from my sisters, who was always, they wouldn't be on punishment. So why the hell won't you go outside and get away from me? They wanted to stay under me. And that was like extra punishment, because I was like, why y'all not outside playing? Because ain't nobody out there to play with. Because when I went outside and you be around your friends, my little sisters followed behind me and wanted to be up under me and my friends. So if I went outside playing or talking to my girlfriends, and then they siblings went outside, it was like a sibling thing. If the oldest kid not outside, the little kids didn't go outside or didn't want to go outside that much either. But I'd be like, I'm punished. Get your ass outside. Get away from me. It's just like extra punishment. No, we want to sit in here with you and watch TV. I'm like, oh. But then eventually they started going outside, because they said, Mom, Reese pick with me. I will pull their hair, pluck them, pinch them. Get your ass outside. You could go outside. You got your freedom. You go out there and you live your life. And I'm up there humming. Go on outside. Take your ass outside. Take your ass outside. Felicia said, my kids said they're talking to them was worse than, Felicia said talking to your kids, say talking to them was worse than getting them beaten. They say they'd rather have the beating than the lecture. Katina, it sounds like Felicia grew up with a father like yours. She said they would rather have the beating instead of the lecture. That's funny. Oh wow, this is an interference in the show because somebody's knocking at my door. Oh, it's maintenance. Hold on, y'all. Be right back. Go to commercial. One moment. We good. We all from off streaming. I'm 10:30 to 11:30.
In this lonely ass world, it's getting colder. I'm not going nowhere if I cannot take my boat there. My mind was bred a little different, yeah, from my own past. If I see heat, why the fuck would I wanna go there? Mama, I make you smiling. Mama, your little nigga came from wildin'. Mama, always got in trouble, I was shouted. Mama, now I'm staring at shit. Mama, I'm the pilot. Mama, if I want something, I'ma go get it. Mama, swim with the sharks, piranhas, and fishes. Mama, it's so hard down here, God is my witness. Mama, I know where I'm going. Mama, I'm a fan. It's hard not knowing who is really gonna be there for me. I wish you could be here to see me the day I start touring. Shit be on my mind every second when I'm not recording. I'm waking up conversating with the Lord every morning. I mistakenly took the wrong path, I had to rewind. I fumbled trying to move too fast, I had to keep trying. Growing up, I got in trouble, told myself to keep lying. So much stress be building up, swear I be needing me time.
Woo! We back, y'all. That was Desmond. Desmond, the good old maintenance man. I had to go. I know y'all probably don't know this, but I be sitting up here in my skippies and chilling doing the show. But that was Desmond, the maintenance guy. Had to change the air filter. That means we could turn our heat on there and all that good stuff. I know y'all probably laughing like a mug. They said, what the hell? And I do thank my engineer for going there and protecting us in the show. And we got to keep it going. And I do thank you. Love you for that, Molly Mall. $1 million moments. We talking about ass whooping. And my brother Slicky Woo Boo is in the house. He know about a good ass whooping because he got a plenty. But see, if you listen to Slicky, Slicky would tell you he got pregnant lips. He was getting hit with broomsticks in the mouth and the lips. That's abuse. That's not an ass whooping. That's a beating. That's abuse. Because it depends on how you spank and discipline a child. That becomes abuse. But see, they don't know no better. Some people do, and then some people really don't. because they figured that's how I got my ass up that way. But that's not right. Just like we evolve as people, the discipline and stuff that needed to evolve too, because you're dealing with a different type of child. So you have to have a different type of approach. And that's because how society is, definitely. With that. Oh, with that being said, well, it's time to end the show. We got interrupted, but it's time to end the show. Today was a great show, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and listening and checking out the show. Today was a show about discipline. When does discipline turn into abuse? And that's facts. When does discipline turn to abuse? We gotta love our children. We gotta protect our children. The same as we gotta love and protect our women. Because when you grow up as an abused child or a hurting child, you grow up as an abused or hurting adult. It don't change. It don't get out of you. Just go from a little person to a big person. And if it psychologically messes you up as a child, it's going to affect your adult lifehood. And that's just how it is. So we got to start from when they're babies and rearing them right and giving them all that love and hugs and stuff that they need to grow up to be a good human. And let them think for themselves. We don't try to humiliate them and tear them down, their children. One minute you tell them the sky's the limit, they can be whatever they want to be. And then the next minute you're beating them down and holding back their dreams. Say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. This is psychological abuse too. When a parent or a child tell them that their child is useless, oh, you useless, or you're stupid, you can't do nothing right. You just that's abuse. That's abuse. Why would you put your child down? Why would you try to make them feel like that? Something's wrong with that parent. That parent need to get their issues, resolved. Should never talk to a child like that. That is mental abuse. I thought we had another video clip to show y'all, but maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. That's okay, because we're coming to the end and the close of our show today anyway. So like I said, today, when you don't rear children with approach, norms, and rules, the social abuse. Social abuse. Wow. What did DJ Slicky Woo Woo said? I got both whipped and talked to at the same time. Yep, my grandma used to say, didn't I tell you not to do that no more? Why did you go to the store when I told you not to? It's like every syllable you get a whooping for. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow. I'll take a vial for 800, Alex. Ow, 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 ow. I mean, like you do Wheel of Fortune. Can I buy a vial? What you gonna buy? Ow, 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 ow. It was like, they will whoop you. Whoop and talk to you. You got to whoop, talk to, syllables, and all that good stuff. Y'all, it's been fun talking to you guys. And it's sad. The subject is sad, but it's a conversation that is needed, especially in our colored community. We need to have those talks. So y'all got to tune in tomorrow when we talk about stand-up comedy versus social media comedy. I'm gonna give you a little tidbit of that. The stand-up comics is saying that it's harder to do the stand-up versus the one on social media, because they're saying, I heard comedians say that because you have a big social media presence, and when you do your thing, you're doing it live. There's no cut, there's no take, there's no redo. But on the other hand, when you're doing it on social media, you can polish up your act. You can produce a good content on social media. You just can't, because you can do the retakes. You got the filters and all that good stuff. But a good comedian has to be a good comedian no matter where they go. If it's on social media, if it's on doing stand-up, if you're funny, you're funny. So that's like being a scripted actor. If you can act, you can act. And we all know that doing plays is way different than being in front of the big screen. Because when you're doing a play, when you're in the middle of the play, if you mess up during the show, you can't say cut. You have to keep going. You have to sometimes improv or get back into script, get back into character. When you're filming, you can say cut at any time to edit as you go along. If you messed up on the line, I remember sitting there doing so many takes when we was doing Freedom. Freedom was a 15-minute short story, a short, right? What they call a short. And it took us days to do 15 minutes of work because we had to get it over and over and over again. The scenes had to be shot over and over and over again. Woo! Versus when you in a play and when you're in rehearsal in the play, it's just different. So tomorrow's show is going to be about stand-up comedy versus social media comedy or scripted comedy, you know, and we're going to weigh in on the pros and the cons with that. So y'all guys tune in tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the show that was going to take place on the 30th, the Tom O Band, the Let's Do It Again Band will be playing on Saturday between 4 and 8 at the Pavilion. So it's the Let's Do It Again Band. So tickets are $25 in advance. And it's I think 40 or 30 at the door, something like that. So I'm not sure what else is, who else is going to be there, but it should be a good show, y'all. So I'm just like, yeah, y'all know. But your girl, I won't be able to make it. I won't be there. But y'all still go out and support the Let's Do It Again Band, the Tom O Show. They be on the day at 1 p.m. So it'll be they'll tell you about it. So, but the event is still going to happen at the fire station, y'all. Don't get all upset, get your panties in a bunch. They still going to do their thing at the fire station just as soon as it get back into running order. So I know some of y'all was disappointed about that, but don't worry, they coming back. And for those of y'all who want to hear the band, who want to crank out, Saturday at the Pavilion from 4 to 8. So that's tonight Taco Tuesdays. How can I forget? Tonight Taco Tuesdays at Bar 210. Y'all come on down there for some comedy and improv. Yes, your girl will be in the house full effect, and we're gonna have DJ Swag out there. DJ Swag Money gonna be there. Ladies, that's my boo. So I'm just letting y'all know that's my boo. So don't be trying to boo up on DJ Swag. Like, just playing. Oh, just playing. But tonight, 210, and that's in Bryant's Road, Maryland. That's all the way down 210. It's called Bar 210. So, yeah. And it's free to get in. Come in for $5 tacos, $5 tequila. Margaritas. $5 taco, $5 margaritas. Taco Tuesday, comedy and improv, hosted by the Gwen Factor. This Tuesday, each and every Tuesday. Y'all come on down. And like I said, your girl gonna be there. Mwah. So it is free. Free comedy. Come in for some free laughs, free shits and giggles. You can't beat free. So y'all come on down, have a good time with us tonight. Because we're going up on a Tuesday. That's the end of the show. I love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Slicky. Thank you, Katina. Thank you, Ace Dog. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you, Nene. Let me see. Thank you, Joyce. Hey. Thank you, Monty. My boy Monty Phoenix was in the house. And it's a Slicky Woo Woo. I did go, Katina. I'm trying not to miss nobody. And we're going to say a prayer for my sister Bernice, because she's under the weather. And that's my ride or die. Bernice, my co-host. Get better soon, baby. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Malik Bay, for tuning in. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Love you. See y'all tomorrow when we discuss comedy, stand up. All righty. Let me see how I run the video to go out.